Her world was painted in shade of darkness. Maltreated by her stepmother, Ngozi, Adanna's days were filled with sorrow and fear. Ngozi's heart was as cold as the harmattan wind that swept through the village. She had married Adanna's father after her mother's untimely passing. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled deep within the heart of Africa, lived a young girl named Adanna. Despite the vibrant colors of the surrounding landscape, her world was painted in shade of darkness. Maltreated by her stepmother, Ngozi, Adanna's days were filled with sorrow and fear. Ngozi's heart was as cold as the harmattan wind that swept through the village. She had married Adanna's father after her mother's untimely passing. But rather than embrace Adanna as her own, she saw her as a burden, a reminder of a past she wished to forget. Adanna, with eyes the color of the African sunset, tried to avoid Ngozi's wrath, tiptoeing through each day in silent anguish. She dared not speak out against her stepmother for fear of repercussion that awaited her. But what really hindered her was the respect she had for her father. She loved her father so much, she was willing to endure Ngozi because it was difficult for her to convince her father to remarry after her mother's death. But Ngozi, fueled by bitterness and resentment, swore to make Adanna's life a living hell. She would find fault in every action, every word spoken, and every glance exchanged. Adanna's father, blinded by love or perhaps ignorance, remained oblivious to his daughter's suffering. One fateful day, as Adanna toiled in the field alongside Ngozi, the shimmering tension between them reached its boiling point. With each cutting remark and cruel insult, Adanna felt a fire ignite within her, a power she had long suppressed. Unable to contain her anger any longer, Adanna unleashed her hidden abilities, tapping into the ancient magic that coursed through her veins. With a flick of her wrist, she summoned a swarm of wasps, their buzzing wings a symphony of vengeance. The air crackled with electricity as the insects descended upon Ngozi, their stingers seeking retribution for the years of torment inflicted upon Adanna. Ngozi's scream pierced the stillness of the afternoon, a cacophony of pain and terror. Caught in the midst of chaos, Adanna watched in awe and horror as her stepmother writhed in agony, swatting futilely at the relentless swarm. But even as the wasps exacted their revenge, a sense of remorse washed over Adanna. She had become the very monster she despised. As the last of the wasps dispersed into the ether, leaving behind a scene of devastation, Adanna fled into the dense jungle. Her heart heavy with guilt. She knew that she could never undo what she had done, but perhaps in the wilderness she could find redemption. And so, with each step deeper into the unknown, Adanna carried with her the weight of her actions, grappling with the beast that dwelled within her soul. For in the tangled labyrinth of the human heart, the line between light and darkness was as fragile as spider's web, waiting to be torn asunder by the whims of fate. Alone in the vast expanse of the untamed wilderness, Adanna's survival instinct kicked into overdrive. With determination in her heart and the echoes of her past still haunting her every step, she forged ahead, navigating the dense foliage and treacherous terrain in a sense of purpose. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months as Adanna honed her skill, learning to hunt, gather, and fend for herself in the wild. She fashioned makeshift shelter from woven branches and leaves, finding solace in the solitude of her surroundings. But even in the depth of isolation, Adanna's thoughts often drifted to the village she had left behind, to the faces of those who suffered as she once had. It was then that she made a decision, a vow to herself and to the spirit of the land. She would not let others endure the same torment she had faced. And so, with a newfound sense of purpose burning within her, Adanna set to gather those who had been cast aside, forgotten and mistreated by society, from the shadows of the village street to the hidden corners of the wilderness. She sought out kindred spirits, souls battered and bruised by the cruelty of the world. Together they formed a community unlike any other, born not by blood but by a shared sense of resilience and defiance. Adanna became their leader, their protector, a beacon of hope in a world shrouded in darkness. The word of Adanna's legendary powers spread like wildfire, whispered in hushed tones around campfires, and shared in tales spun by storytellers under the moonlight sky. She was feared by those who dared to cross her, revered by those who sought her protection. Under Adanna's guidance, the community thrived, forging bonds that transcended the barriers of race, tribe, and creed. They lived off the land, drawing strength from the earth itself, and stood united against any who sought to harm them. But amidst the newfound sense of security, Adanna remained ever vigilant, haunted by the knowledge that her past could be both a blessing and a curse. She knew that the beast within her still lurked, a primal force waiting to be unleashed upon the world. And so, as the days turned into years, Adanna walked a fine line between light and darkness, her heart heavy with the weight of her past and the responsibility of her future. For in the wilderness, amidst the howling winds and the whispering trees, she had found not only a sanctuary, but a purpose worth fighting for.